Tag show. Tag show. That's gonna leave a mark, Taylor.
That's undisputed because I'm undisputed.
What's up, everybody? It's a blast from the past. It's your girl, Jenna, and
Blue.
we're back with season 3, episode 2, I think,
Yeah.
of the Mixed Tag Show. It's been a minute. Last time we recorded was what? September?
No, it's October. It was October.
I think it was September.
It was like first week of October.
Maybe, because that's when more or less your son was born, no?
Yeah, he's born like 2 weeks later.
Yeah, so let's go in October. It is now December. It is Christmas time, or close to Christmas. I'm in the holiday spirit. I don't know why you're not wearing a Christmas sweater, but here we are.
I really was not thinking about no Christmas sweater. All the ones I have are old and
Christmas.
Yeah.
So you can't wear
profits.
You can't wear old stuff for Christmas?
I can. I gotta find them because we put them away.
I did actually. The irony is, I just bought. As you know, I'm a stan. I just bought Sasha's Christmas sweater, so I could have worn it. Now I could have worn it right now. I am wearing Macho Man, so I have something new, but I decided to hold off on wearing it.
Yeah, there's somewhere we put them in a box. They take so much space in the closet because they're so thick. So it's like, all right, let's put these in a box away, and then when Christmas come back around, we'll revisit these. And
I mean, I think just wrestling stuff in general. I have like my whole drawer that I had to stuff. That's why over the past few months, I kept asking hey, do you have anything to get rid of?
All my
I literally
stuff.
you wear your stuff. I've bought stuff over the years, the past 2-3 years, and that's how I am. I'll spend money, and then realize it was a waste of money. So now I have a bag full of wrestling stuff that I actually want to give away because it's just too much.
Shot caller.
All the time, you already know. You see the brand new TV,
right? Stunning on your hoes.
Trying, but it's my friend's fault because I was perfectly fine with my 32-inch Samsung TV, and then he was telling me, well, if you have a PlayStation 5,
look at that stunning.
That it was I wasn't trying to stunt.
I know.
But he was like, well, if you have a PlayStation 5, you're gonna have to get a better TV.
Yeah.
And I was like, do I really have to? But it's cool. It's a good investment, especially since my plans of wanting to move, get a house and everything. At least that'd be one purchase that'll not be exactly.
You're gonna buy another one anyway.
not for my room. At least
for
a living area.
Yeah.
No, obviously that, but it's still one less thing that I have to worry about. And then
we had this discussion, and I kind of went the same route. I got my TV. I got a 65 for my living room.
You studying? No, I gotta get a bigger. Let me.
It was a good deal. It was a good deal at Costco.
What did you decide to get? Because, like you said, we did have this conversation.
I got the Samsung 4K TV, the Crystal UHD.
I think they got that. Whatever.
Yeah, my wife was like, even my wife, she was against me getting a TV. She saw that one. She's like, yeah, this is the one.
and that's what it is. You know me. I'm a tomboy, right? I like sneakers, and video games and stuff like that. But one of the things that doesn't I gotta have is a new TV. That is something I was okay with my other TV. I wasn't planning on getting it. So it's kind of like how your wife was in regards to getting a TV until you see it. The setup is like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like, and the
And
crazy
you're
thing
like,
is, like,
oh, okay. And then when you
you,
compare it to the other TVs, and then you're like, and like when you
yes,
actually look at the picture, and it's like, oh, okay, I get
yeah,
it.
because
So,
even my mom doesn't like TV, and I bought my dad a TV. I bought him like a 43 inch because he had one of those old plasma TVs, like the
yeah,
first flat TVs. So I'm
yeah,
like, I need to upgrade his TV as well. I don't want to like get TVs downstairs. All my kids, like, we moved all the TVs over, so my kids got a new TV. I got a new TV in my room, and then my dad's just like with his plasma. So I bought him a TV as well. Um, my mom doesn't like TV, and she saw me set up my dad's TV and saw my TV. She's like, okay, I can understand these purchases.
exactly,
Like, this is a big upgrade from the TVs I was here before.
exactly. And
Okay,
then
I
like
understand. I understand.
exactly, like you said, with the parents thing. I know my mom for years has been telling me like she doesn't like her TV. It's an LG
Mm,
or whatever. So the same thing. I couldn't sit here and say like, oh yeah, I'm in the store buying myself a TV. So I got my mom a 43 inch. So
well, she doesn't know yet, right?
she doesn't know. So
Wow.
we'll
So she think you just stunned on her. That's crazy.
yeah, yeah. So she'll be very surprised when she sees her TV
Let me tell you this.
get delivered.
We changed my dad's TV, and he didn't even realize. Like,
You should have
he's
waited for
so
Christmas.
he's so oblivious, right?
Mm-hmm.
He walked into the room. He talks to me and my mom and my niece, and we're like, we knew this was gonna happen. So we're just sitting there. Let's see how long it takes for him to realize that this is not his TV. So he talks to us, leaves the room, go change in the basement because he works as a bus driver, so he changes his clothes down there because of the COVID situation. Comes back upstairs, sits on the bed, play with my son, and everything. Mom keeps getting him on like, all right, because he's complaining about what my mom is watching. So he's like, my mom's like, all right, fine, then change the TV, change it. So then he goes to reach for the remote. He's like, what's this? The remote
That
is one
that
reason why he
not the
realizes
TV, but
the
the
remote.
remote.
Then
That's
he goes,
crazy.
like, wait a minute, where's my TV? I'm like, this is your TV.
See,
Like,
and that's crazy because for that matter, you could have waited for on Christmas to give it to him.
right.
That's Christmas gift.
Yeah, like, but I wouldn't have no way to hide it. So I was like, just give it to him.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Like,
Yeah,
but I
man.
didn't get my Xbox Series X yet. If anybody has to connect,
I don't know
plug.
when you plan on getting that because the way that and PlayStations are looking,
Listen,
people may not even be getting for the holidays.
I was not trying to pay no $867 for a bundle on the Xbox Series X. I
Well,
was
I
trying to get
mean,
the
if I mean, the bundle makes sense if it's the specific games that you want or whatever the case might be. But if
yeah,
it's
but I wasn't trying
not,
to spend that much. Like, I wanted to pay the $35 a month for the first 3 months,
oh
and then
yeah,
on
I
top of
forgot they
next
had.
year, just pay everything all once, like to help my credit.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Yeah,
Like,
I with PlayStation they didn't give that deal, so they hit you with that
I think they're coming
five.
up with it now. I think they're trying to do it now.
That doesn't help me now. It hit my credit card and like, nope, you're gonna pay that. I was like,
Right.
okay. But outside of that, because we've been talking about this, how's everything with you? How's parenthood?
Tiring. I like lack of sleep everywhere. Like, this kid wakes up like clockwork. 3 hours later for his feeding all day, every day. Like, he probably missed like one yesterday, and it shocked everybody. That's the first time he missed a feeding. Other than that, every 3 hours, this kid cries for food. Maybe sometimes 2.5 hours, depending on how he's feeling.
I feel that. I feel that energy.
Tiring. And then, I
I feel
started a
that.
new job,
How's
getting
that?
these coins now. And, like, it's good. It's like it's simple. I'm grateful because like during this time, there's a lot of people that's not getting jobs and stuff like that, and I was able to secure a very good job during
With
these
benefits.
with not benefits, the benefits of the pay. I'm on my wife's benefits now.
Well, you told me about it eventually.
Yeah,
So
so it's like,
you're eventually the benefits will
yeah,
come
eventually, yeah,
into
it'll
play.
move on. It'll come into play. So like, it's a very good situation, and it's a place that I could see myself growing, even if it's not with the same city. I could move to another city with the experience. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very grateful for that. And I just been happy. Like, like it's been like a good coasting outside of not being like me and you haven't talked as often, which we discussed outside of this. Other than that, I've been pretty happy. It was just like, yo, like just coasting life right now.
That's what's up.
I think
That's what's up.
we said that too, right? Like right now, even through this all pandemic in the end of 22, with so much that has happened, right?
But the personal blessings have been there.
Yeah, for
It's
both,
been
like
yeah,
it's been
for
a good
sure.
like ride for us.
Yeah, for sure.
How about you? What's going on in your world?
Same old, same old. There's a lot of in regards to just I'm grateful that I still have my job that has benefits that allows
Mm-hmm.
me to work from home. Now is a situation where I can not only am I working from home, but the days that I do or the weeks that I do go into the office, now it's only twice a week. So the 2 weeks that I'm at the office will be now 2 days. So essentially, in the grand scheme of things, forever how long this is going for out of the month, I'll be in the office 4 times.
That's
Everything else is,
awesome.
yeah. So like, if I was still at my previous job, I'd probably be still miserable and complaining and who knows, exposed
Hitting
to whatever.
goals and
Yeah, so that's been a blessing. My health has been great. I've been on this workout tip. You see the guns, you know what I mean?
that's the only part. I need to lose some weight. I need to lose like 30.
I done
That's what I'm.
told you, I done told you, let me train you, now that
You
I'm a
didn't send me the
certified trainer.
logins.
I always tell you, Blue, remind me, because I'm gonna literally after the conversation, I say,
I need
remind me.
I need
Let me,
dumbbells and stuff.
huh?
I need dumbbells and stuff, don't I?
I start buying dumbbells. My friend, he just bought a Bowflex, so it's the dumbbells that you change it. Like so, instead of getting individual ones, like I have up to 25. I'm probably gonna get up to. I'm gonna look for 30s now. Now that I like built my strength, but he
Sounds
bought it,
expensive.
so
I'm joking.
it is no. Honestly, it is expensive trying to build your home gym and stuff like that. But what I do when I get my dumbbells is I get them on eBay, so I try to get them a little bit cheaper.
I'm talking about the Bowflex.
Yeah, but it expensive in the sense of it's like 3 something, but you got to think about it. Individual dumbbells, especially when you go higher and higher, are like $100 and some odd dollars. So it's cheaper
Wait,
in
three
the sense
something
of
like 3,000 or
no 380
for the
something.
Bowflex?
It's just dumbbells that you just switch, like you
Oh,
change
I
the
could do
weight.
that. I could do that.
Oh, we got a good paying job, and we all of a sudden we
Yeah.
balling. We can do this.
I
Man's
could
hitting
do
me up
that.
talking about, oh, what sneakers are coming now? Like I was like,
Yo.
oh, we ready. I was
I need
like,
to
oh,
upgrade. I need to get back on my
you
fly
came to the
shit.
guru.
I gotta come back to the fly shit. Like I gotta. I've been out there. I've been out of the game for like a good 7 years. I get back in my fly shit.
I was out here wilding yesterday, buying some Yeezys, and I said,
What?
yeah, you saw I bought Yeezys. I got my ones. But I'm a sneakerhead, so I'm just I buy sneakers.
I thought we
But
canceled Kanye.
yeah, I can't even tell you I'm gonna be. I can't even tell you.
It's
Like
one of those moments. I got
I
it.
probably sound like a hypocrite. I probably do it. What I will tell you is I'm not gonna sit here like every pair of Yeezys that's come out like, oh, I gotta get it, because I feel like that's
Right.
just like hypey stuff. I was
Right.
explaining that to someone else. Like I've never been one to be into that or the Off-Whites or Travis Scott's. Like real sneakerheads, that
Get the
like.
originals.
Yeah, like that's what excites me. Stuff from back in the day, like retro colors and stuff like that. And this is no shade to anyone, but that's just not my thing. But yeah, outside of that, everything's been good. I got to talk to our fave, so that was cool.
How was that feeling? Are you ever gonna release that full video?
I released what needed to be released. No, I mean, no, it was just a 2 minute. It was just a 2 minute thing, and she was the boss, the standard, the blueprint.
Right.
And then it's just me hyping her up, like, you know, and then like wound up rhyming a little bit. And I was like, oh, wait, this rapper gimmick is low key real. So I was like, oh, okay. Nah, you already know how it is. It's and like I explained to her, like I don't know if you still got the chance to actually see, but just if it wasn't for her, right? I don't think this podcast would have came about. Maybe it could have been, right?
Maybe.
But how you came across my page because of her, right?
Right.
I became friends with, including you, with a lot of people because I got really, really passionate, not only outside of wrestling, but specifically what she was doing in NXT and the feud with Charlotte on the main roster. So my love for wrestling reminded me of my love for wrestling when I was watching The Rock back in the 90s. So, and in result, that brought, joy into my life, like I mentioned, in just the relationships and stuff that we've done. Like who if someone would have told, maybe you, because you dabbled in this world in the sense of entertainment and what have you, but if anyone would have told you, we would have spoke to people from like Bleacher Report or Complex or meet other people that people of color that look like us that talk wrestling, I would tell you what, like, or that I'm still watching wrestling at 30,
Right. Now, there's the thing about that, because at the end of the day, when you're a fan and you go to these events, you see people like you, but you never knew that they hold the powers that they do in terms of writers and,
Exactly.
like over at Complex and stuff like that. It's still there. It's still so minimal, and that it should be bigger than what it really is.
Absolutely. Like,
in the grand scheme of things.
We've had these talks in regards to just the episodes, and our platform could be so much bigger. And I'm losing. I don't have the word for it, but our presence could be so much more in wrestling. It's getting there, but it's not getting there fast enough. Like especially in executive and corporate positions. So, but outside of that, just bringing it back to just again, if it wasn't for her, I don't think any of this. I mean, I don't want to say like, put her on this big platform, or pedestal, because
but no,
everything I attribute to God, right? But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was cool to express that, and seeing that she's grateful for that. So that was a cool experience. I don't know if it's something I'll constantly keep doing, but it's I will give WWE and like cricket and all that, like I'll give that to them, that they've found a way to give people a chance to get to meet their favorite wrestlers and superstars in this time when things are crazy and so uncertain. I think that's a cool, especially even outside of this, because a lot of people can't travel, can't afford to go to meet and greets, or it doesn't go to their city or whatever. So the fact that now this opens up a new realm for people online to interact with their favorites, I think that's actually a very cool thing. I don't like that, I guess we can talk about it in regards to what interests us in wrestling. I don't like what WWE has done in regards to limiting these superstars and their platforms and third-party platforms, but that I think is pretty cool. So it was definitely cool.
So have you been watching wrestling lately? Like, how much have you been watching? Like, I can speak for me. Is like I've been watching SmackDown, I've been watching AEW. Raw might be in the background. NXT, I like barely touch. Like, I put it in the DVR. Maybe if I got time at work, I'll watch it, but it's not like a top priority as it used to be.
Yeah, I mean, and I say this all the time with NXT. It's just like there was a time where, man, it was the best thing going. Must see. Like you used to get hyped for like takeovers. War Games coming on today, and I don't care. I really don't care.
I'm
gonna watch it. Right, I'm gonna watch it, but I can't even tell you the feuds that are going on, and I see like like the women might be doing stuff with Toni Storm and Rhea and Ember Moon, but and Shotzi and all of them. But as me being generally invested, I watch SmackDown, and I only watch SmackDown mostly because, again, Sasha, and I like what they're doing with Roman. Raw is in the background. Raw is really, really bad. AEW, you already know how I feel, but I get my news off of Twitter on what's going on, so I can talk about it a little bit. But
Right.
in the whole, I guess wrestling in itself it's not good. I feel like at 30 right now, I feel like the Jenna that at 12, 11, 12, 13 that was slowly like not caring
Yeah.
and was only holding on because she was watching her favorite. Once her favorite left, I don't know
Yeah.
why I'm speaking in third person, but once my favorite left, it was like I stopped watching wrestling for a good few years. Maybe here and there I would tune in because, to see certain
Yeah.
things. But as a like me watching consistently, I feel like that's kind of like dwindling down for me. So that's kind of
That's
where I'm at with wrestling.
that's crazy because your favorite's still there, and now you're still having that feeling. Um,
And I'm still watching, like I'm heavily invested like into what she's doing. I think she's had a amazing year, and I guess we can talk about that, because we didn't get the chance to talk about Hell in a Cell and
right.
everything. I'm heavily invested in that. Heavily invested in that. Like I will make sure I tune into that. But as a whole, in
Right.
like multiple storylines, there's nothing there for me that I feel is captivating.
It's not, and that's the crazy thing. That's the thing. Like you said, like I'll watch SmackDown because of Sasha. I'll watch because of Street Profits. I want to see what they're doing with Street Profits because they gave basically had New Day pass the torch to them. The whole situation with Big
Very
E,
true.
like the whole thing with Big E is like interesting. Like what y'all gonna do with Big E? Like I see he brought back his chalk. You know what I'm saying? Like change his music, but he still got the gear. Like that's what's still capturing me. The thing with Roman has been capturing with me as well. I think his feud with Kevin Owens gonna be extraordinary. Other than that, like WWE in general is
Bianca,
just
like let's not forget Bianca. I love that
Bianca. You know what it is
Bailey's
with
been calling
Bianca?
Bianca out, and they're letting that feud happen, which I really am feeling. I love the use of the women's division right now. So
Yeah, the only thing with that is that I feel with Bianca, it could be a little bit more. Like the whole thing with Natalia and Bailey, I was kind of confused with. I get why they're doing it, trying to make Bailey a little bit more vulnerable for Bianca, so it will be that big, you know what I'm saying, win. But like, I don't know. I first of all, I didn't want to see Bianca as face. I really didn't. I feel like as a heel, she would bring more to it. She's doing very well as a face. Don't get me wrong, but like to have like to me, it's too many faces on SmackDown for the women division.
I don't think so. I think right now you see the thing is, I know we're discussing Bianca right now, but you have Sasha as the champion.
Right.
Sorry. You have her as the champion. She's a tweener right now. And I truly
Is she?
believe she's not a baby face, because just like even when she got at Carmella the week before this interview, her mannerisms is still very, she at any moment could be heel Sasha. I truly think with Bianca, the ultimate goal is to have Bianca face versus Sasha, and I think
Yeah.
that's when Sasha goes
That's what
back
they
to
want
heel,
to.
goes back to
Okay.
heel. That's why I see right now Bianca not Bianca, Sasha as a tweener, and that's why Bianca is a face. Bianca is very captivating in regards to her character, her in-ring work. She's next up. So
Right.
I think since she's next up and everyone likes her, from what I haven't really seen any bad takes, unless
Yeah.
you know the type of people that
The
are gonna have
older
the same,
people.
not even the older people, but like out of touch people, let's say that.
Okay, out of touch.
Um
We'll use that word.
yeah, we'll use that word. Outside of that, everyone's like on board when it comes to Bianca. So I think if everyone's on board, you have to keep her a face. I like the fact that she's a face, but she's not like a baby face, like, where
Right.
it's
A
cheesy.
pushover.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you have Carmella, who's a heel. You have Bailey, who's obviously a heel. Natalia's not a
Natalia is a
face.
tweener.
I don't even think she's a tweener. I think she's a heel. The Riot Squad is face. So I think it's a good blend of
But that's
heel
what I'm
and
saying. You have
face.
like four heels and two faces. Like,
But the storylines that we have going on, I think it's a good blend right now, in my opinion. At least on SmackDown, I think they're doing
Yeah.
it. I think they're doing it
Yeah.
right in regards to
So
that.
you brought up the Riot Squad. Now, did you see the situation with them at Talking Smack and Peyton Royce?
And Billy Kay is gonna find an
It's Billy
opponent.
Kay. Yeah, Billy Kay. My bad.
Yeah,
Yeah. So why y'all putting Billy Kay back in the tag team? Y'all got Peyton Royce tag teaming
with
with
Lacey.
freaking Lacey Evans
Yeah.
on Raw. Like
It,
I
it
am
didn't
like
make it didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense. And if I was them, like I mean, there's not much you could do. But if I was them, I'd be like, "Are y'all serious?" Like it did
right
not make any. It made no sense. And that's just typical Vince and WWE. Like,
because Billy Kay's
why
been
break
holding
up
her
a thing?
own.
But see, this is what I said when this first there was talks about who quote unquote who's Vince high on.
Right.
He said Peyton,
Peyton,
Bianca, and I believe it was Bailey. Yeah, Bailey, Peyton, and Bianca. And then when they faced off against each other, Peyton and Billy, I was like, Billy is the star out of the group.
right.
Peyton has the better in-ring ability, but Billy has the personality. Kind of like with
Yeah,
the
you see
Street
that now.
Profits, right? With Dawkins and Montez. Montez is the
Yeah.
star of Street Profits, and it's only a matter of time when they break them up and he goes on to do whatever, whether it's to be a mid-card star or whatever. But you can tell out of those tag teams who has the personality and who people resonate with. Billy has the personality. She's funny, the way she on Talking Smack, Mr. Riot Squad, like
Right.
two chicks, Mr. Riot Squad, and then the resume thing, I think that's really, really funny. But outside of that, I don't understand why they broke them up because their skill set makes them iconic, no pun intended, but that's their thing. Sometimes not everyone needs to be broken up. Sometimes you feed off of each other or whatever the case might be. Speaking of tag teams, go ahead, sorry.
Let's see what you're saying.
And I was gonna say, speaking of tag teams, what do you think about what Shayna and Nia is doing? And then now that you got Asuka and Lana, like
Oh my gosh, don't even get me started on this.
I
Like
don't
you
get
already
it.
know how. Why are you a Raw champion in a tag team with someone else? Like, we're doing this again? Like, didn't she do this for Kairi Sane? Like, why don't you let Asuka be Asuka? That's it. She doesn't need to be in no tag team. She doesn't need help nowhere. She got the charisma. She got the in-ring. Why?
But the thing is, yeah, Asuka is a decorated champion in WWE, and when you from the outside in, but from the inside in, it's like you look at it and it's like you guys haven't handled her career really, really well, unless it was NXT. Other than that her career has not been handled well in WWE. Yeah, she the first ever women's Royal Rumble winner. That's great. The streak continued, but you had her lose against Charlotte at WrestleMania.
Right.
You had her win the SmackDown Championship just for Charlotte to take it, just for you to add another thing into the main event, which wasn't needed with Charlotte, Ronda, and Becky. She won the Money in the Bank this past year and got the Raw Women's title. She had a nice feud with Sasha, and then but outside of that, those things, her reign as a Raw Women's Champion has been very lackluster. I enjoyed what the little that they had with Zelina, at the time, but the only thing with that feud, it was just out of nowhere. And then, Zelina now, Thea, she was doing her thing on Instagram and social media trying to big it up, where Asuka wasn't really doing that. Like, it didn't really find her to be a threat. So, because it was just so sudden and you didn't really build up a feud when it could have been a nice feud. So it's just everything with Asuka's run in WWE, it just always seems like yeah, you know, we know she's really good, but let's
So we're gonna put the title on her, but let her sit over here.
exactly, you know, we let her win the Royal Rumble, but Ronda Rousey came out. She won the TLC match against Charlotte and Becky, but who I forgot, I think it was Roman and so and so that was fighting. You
In
remember,
the
you
audience,
know,
yeah, yeah.
in the
Well,
audience,
Roman and
and it took away.
Corbin.
Yeah, and it took away from Asuka's moment. And this is everything that WWE has constantly done with her. So, you know, she's an amazing talent, great talent overall. But again,
And
not like you said, you have her pairing up with Lana for whatever reason.
to expand on that, it seems like that with most of the titles in WWE right now. What's going on with the US title? What's going on with the IC title? The only title they seem to be really focused on is the heavyweight title and the universal title, respectively. And it's just like, so you just forget about all your mid cards, you forget about your women outside of Sasha. And it's like, so what's the point of having the titles in WWE then? Because nobody's really doing anything with anything, like any of them. Like they all just holding them in like even when they made the New Day and Street Profits just swap titles. Like to me that was like the biggest like F you to the division in my opinion. I love both of those guys, but it's just like, so you guys gonna switch titles? Like, all right,
I mean,
here
I
you
guess
go.
it makes sense if you're the champions. What do you, I mean, and you're going to different brands. It's kind of like what I get it. It's kind of like what, but at the same time, it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, they're the champions. I don't know. I agree. I think, you know, they've been really pushing Drew, and he's been okay. I just didn't
Okay.
understand it with Hell in the Cell. You had
Right.
him drop the title to. See, here's my thing going to Hell in the Cell. I know we're jumping all over the place, but you know
It's fine. It's the
we're
catching
recap. Yeah,
themselves.
you know, in Hell in the Cell, you had the main event, and I'm like, well, why did Sasha and Bailey main event?
And that's what everybody was saying.
So at that point, I thought, okay, well then the Miz is gonna cash in. That's the
Right.
only when he didn't cash in, and then Randy won. It was like, oh, okay. And then you know, then people, I was hyped to see Randy versus Roman.
I was too. And
And
then you
then
have Drew win. Like for what?
you knew that, you know, this Randy's not gonna hold this title for too long because Drew was the one that went to SmackDown.
Yeah.
First of all, and then even with Survivor Series, it was just the whole thing where it wasn't actually Survivor Series. There was no invasions, I guess because maybe COVID, but I don't even believe that.
They all in the same building anyway. Like once they need their building, they're allowed to do whatever they want. So why was there a problem for them doing an invasion angle?
Exactly. So
Another side of it was like, where was NXT? Like,
they
like you
didn't.
just didn't
I
mention
think
last year at all.
the reason why I think NXT, especially they first of all, again, the whole invasion thing didn't happen in general for all brands. But I think with NXT, there was such a especially around specifically that time, the whole thing like there just seemed to constantly be outbreaks. I think they avoided that mixing NXT with the main roster. That's my
But
theory on that.
but from my opinion, from my standpoint is if that's the case, take the people that you need from NXT, isolate them with the main roster, so that way there'll be no issues.
I
But
understand that, but if you constantly hear every other week, and I'm exaggerating because it's not every other week, but it just seemed like you were hearing NXT talent not being responsible and just having gatherings and stuff like that. How can you really tell someone, pinpoint who's going to be the one that's going to be able to do that, this and that and third? So if that was my thinking in regards to that, that may not be the case. They just probably was just lazy and was like, fuck it, we're not going to do an invasion storyline, because I can believe that too because it's WWE. But that's my theory behind that. But it
you
just
know why? You know I don't believe the whole COVID thing play an issue for the NXT because they didn't mention last year at all. Like you can't even you could have said, all right, this is the current climate that we're in. We're not gonna have the same thing, but at least pin back to last year what happened. You didn't even mention last year at all. Like it didn't happen. Like you just reading it off the history books. Like all right, this never happened. We're starting off clean. Like it just, I don't know. That whole situation was just weird. It didn't feel like Survivor Series at all
yeah.
leading up to that pay-per-view.
And that's why I brought up just the different pay-per-views, just as going back to what you said in regards to just like the champions. I just feel like with WWE, it's like you said, I'm gonna focus on 3 people at a time or so, and then everything else is just stagnant. And that's what it is like with WWE. Like they're so close-minded, and like you know, companies tell you they want to hire people that can multitask. WWE can't multitask
At all.
you know. And even going back, you know, I love what Roman's character work his heel work is phenomenal. The storyline with Jay has been great. Is must see, you know. Going back again to Sasha, yeah, okay, she finally got over the hump of, you know, she won the SmackDown title, she defended the title, and now she's out of her days as champion is 41. It's the longest, 41, 42, something like that's the longest she's been a champion for, which is, I know, like, the crew is just, like, over the moon right now. Like, there's no complaints in that fandom. But it's like, every week when ratings come out, the top rated, like, segments of the show or viewed is anything that has to deal with Sasha or Bailey at a time, or, you know, Sasha or Bailey, right? So my thing is, if that's the case, that would tell me as a company, like, wait, yeah, I know we're pushing this guy because this is our face, but this is also our face too. It can't be every week this girl comes out, ratings constantly go, and this has been the whole year. It's not like, okay, this month it's been happening. It's been happening every week. Ratings go up, whether you put her on NXT, whether you put her on Raw,
right,
whether you put her on SmackDown. Ratings, maybe there was 1 week or so, a couple of weeks in Raw that it didn't do much, but for the overall year, ratings constantly go up. Not only in viewership in regards to like TV, but on the YouTube segments when you break it up. So why is it that if that's the case, you have her on a couple of minutes, if that?
No matches.
Like that does not make sense to me. As a person who runs a company, if I see like, yo, I'm looking at numbers, I'm like, wait a second, people want this person and this person. I gotta let's do something where they're on multiple times so I can keep my viewership up. That's how you keep, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta,
they're not thinking that way.
Yeah, you gotta put your sponsors and Fox and USA and all this. But if I see like the general public, this is what they're interested in, why am I not pushing that? You know?
Yeah, they're not thinking that way. That's what they're looking at.
And then you have that, and then I'm gonna push my own agenda with different things that people are not interested in, and then they're going again about with the championships. What happened to why are we not having random championship matches on TV? Not everything has to be safe for pay-per-view. Like, you know, we're seeing that eventually ratings are gonna dip below 1 million. This is where we're trending towards too.
Right.
You know, wrestling, at least WWE as a whole, is not good. It's not. You know,
it's not at all. There was one more thing I wanted to talk to you about in WWE before we moved over to other things. Dang.
AJ.
Oh, stop right. All right, stuff down.
There was a time we used to have a script on what we wanted to talk about and everything.
Right, but this was just a recap, you know, catching up kind of situation.
Yeah.
What was something that happened
This past week?
Oh wow, huh?
No, hold on.
I don't
wait.
I'm trying to remember. What was it?
Was it Bailey? Was it with Bianca? Was it Lana? Was it with a woman? Was it the guys? AJ, Seth?
I really can't remember.
Rey Mysterio?
Don't get me started on that situation. That is just stupid. Like, it's just stupid.
That's a terrible storyline.
It's such a terrible storyline. Like, what's the point of it? Like, now you have Murphy Lee.
Yeah.
Buddy Lee, was it Murphy, right?
Murphy or Buddy. I'm going to call him Buddy
Murphy.
Whatever. Murphy.
Yeah, he's part of the Mysterio family. Now they're turning heel or tweener or whatever they doing with that. And like you said, WWE is like at a place where it's close to losing a lot of it. And like you said, the numbers are trending downwards. And that's for a reason. Like, and they're not gonna listen to that. They're gonna say because it's on the internet and stuff like that. But we're in a pandemic where people are at home more. Your numbers should be going up, not down.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, I get we live in a society where everything is social media and online, but there's a reason why. And listen, everything with TV is going down. When you look at the NBA, the finals wasn't that the numbers wasn't what they typically,
that
had.
bubble situation
Football,
wasn't it.
it was in the sense of continuing the season, and it worked. No one tested positive, and they were able to finish the season.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it did work. It gave other companies, the idea of having virtual fans like WWE, or like even Wendy Williams does the whole virtual co-hosting or whatever. So it worked in the sense, the bubble thing.
Shout out to my girl Marie. She works over there.
Shout out to her. But so that worked. But a lot of things where ratings and viewership are not where they typically are. So I understand we live in a society where YouTube, social media, but if there's such a thing as TV deals and there's big money being still made with that, then don't neglect TV. Because I guess, we've had this conversation before. I got a brand new TV, right? So I want to watch shit on, although I can probably catch it on YouTube and do it that way. But
the smart TV. It's a smart TV.
Yeah, it's a smart TV. But still, I have a cable box. I'm just one of those people that I want to flip to it, as opposed to I gotta go to an app and do this and search. No, I want to
search for it and try to find the full length and
exactly. So they don't neglect that, especially if you're making $1 billion. Like, there's no excuse. If I'm signing $1 billion deal, let me try to make quality ass TV.
Yeah, do something. So I remember my thought.
Yeah.
What is your thoughts on the Bella twins talking about coming back for a tag team run?
I'm not against it. Come
on. Are you serious?
Look,
I think you have my back on this.
But we I don't, because every time we've had this conversation about the Bella twins, I've over the past couple of years we've been doing this, I've softened up to them. You got to think about it. They're the OG women tag team. So it's only right that they, for their career, that they go after the tag team titles. 1, 2, what are they doing with the women tag team titles, right?
But that's my point.
Hold on. So it's classic. If Sasha and Bailey don't have the titles, or even Nikki and Alexa Bliss doesn't have the title, Nikki Cross, they're not doing any that, and I'll give Nia and Shayna, they're not a bad tag team. They feed off each other well. Not necessarily in the ring, but their pairing, as with their characters, I think they're pretty funny. But outside of that, you don't have legitimate teams. You broke up the Iconics. The Riot Squad is they're ready. They're ready to get the title. But outside of that, you don't have enough tag teams. Why not have the OG women's tag team go after it? I see nothing wrong with that.
Because it's exactly what you said. The division doesn't have anything right now. So you bringing in Bella Twins going to do what exactly? It's not gonna boost it to division. It's not gonna magically appear with more teams.
It'll bring eyes to the tag
eyes
team
to
title.
what? There's no division. So what's the point of bringing eyes to a division that doesn't exist?
You're underestimating the Bella Army.
No. I'm not saying they're not gonna bring eyes. I agree with you. They would bring eyes, but bring eyes to what? There's no division. So what's the point of bringing eyes if there's nothing to watch?
So, but going back to, again, like when Sasha and Bailey had the tag team titles this past summer.
There's more tag teams together.
What tag teams were together?
The teams they were defending on against NXT, they went over to Raw, they went over to SmackDown, they was doing their thing. They went against Kairi Sane and Asuka.
Those teams haven't necessarily changed, right? Like, Nikki, Alexa's doing their thing, but the thing is, when you put the tag team titles on people that people care about, they make something out of it. I'm sure if you put the Bellas in that picture, they're gonna find ways. Like you're gonna see all of a sudden the Riot Squad now all of a sudden really chasing after it. You know, you're gonna just see. You're
But
gonna
you should
see.
do that regardless.
But
Like,
I'm not disputing that. But what I'm saying is, it's not a negative to have the Bellas involved.
I don't like it because it's the same reason why we don't like part-timers having championships in general. Like, just like when Brock has the title, people complain. When Goldberg has the title, people
But
complain.
the Bellas are not Brock Lesnar. They're not gonna hold the title for
But it's
a
not
year
even
or so.
about that. It's about like you coming in, take the title, and disappearing again. It's the same concept. Like that doesn't make sense.
But
to me.
why?
For that matter, we might as well bring back Beth Phoenix and Natalya. Let them win the title.
But it bothers you. So it doesn't bother you when Brock does it, but when they do it,
I be trolling you guys. I say that all the time. Like Brock holding the title is stupid. I always tell you that after I finish trolling you guys. Brock holding the title hostage is stupid. That should not be the case. Like, you have plenty of people in roster that can be champions. When Brock does it, I troll you guys. I tell you that all the time because I love seeing people cry about it. At the end of the day, it's stupid. It doesn't make sense. Brock should not be having a title.
Whatever. Anyway, I think it would be nice to see.
I can live without it. You know what else annoyed me about that?
Nice to see.
How they try to compare the Bella Twins to Young Bucks. Like, that's like comparing like oranges to pears.
I didn't see that, and I'm not gonna get into that.
Twitter was like, "Oh, your favorite couldn't do this." I'm like, "Are y'all serious? Y'all comparing Bella Twins to Young Bucks?"
I'm not gonna get into that. But anyway, outside of that though, one last thing for the WWE before we talk about AEW real quick. How do you feel about what they're doing with Bliss?
It's dope. It has potential.
I like it. I can see if we don't see Charlotte come back anytime soon. I
wouldn't be mad at
2020 is a crazy year. I would not be mad seeing Asuka go against Bliss for the title and Bliss winning.
Yep, I wouldn't be mad at that.
I think she's found her niche. She gets to dress up kind of like who she is as a person, like the whole like Disney kind of like childlike cosplay thing. She gets to do that. So, and then her pairing with Bray has been fun. I think she's actually outshining Bray. That's just me. And then I'm always gonna give Bliss that she may not be the greatest in-ring competitor, but she knows how to play a character. I will give her that. Yeah. She knows how to play a character. She knows how, does her little mic work. She's very good at that. And this run is showing that. Like, they gave her this, and I think she's knocking the ball out of the park.
You know, the irony of all this is that at first people wanted Nikki Cross to be Sister Abigail so bad. And to see the twist that is not essentially Nikki Cross, but Alexa Bliss, and it's working, is like the biggest irony to me. And having Alexa Bliss feud a little bit with Nikki Cross about this is just like, I'll give Raw that. Raw, I'll watch Raw, like that part right there for Raw.
And then that's working. How you build on things. Like, okay, we got this going with Bray and Randy and Alexa and whoever else is involved with that. Drew's okay, that's how, but you got to, feed off of that. How can you had the momentum with the Hurt Business, but they kind of just, Retribution is okay.
That's the other thing I wanted to tell you. Sidebar. Did you watch this Royce Jones Jr. versus Mike Tyson?
I saw clips of it.
So I felt like the setup they had for that, like the ring and everything, the ramp, that should have been Raw Underground.
Yeah.
That would have been dope to have it that way.
Speaking of Raw Underground, didn't we say this? Didn't we say this was going to happen? They were going to debut this thing, and it was going to, and then it was going to be
disappear.
There has been no talks of Raw Underground. This and I keep going back to that that story that we read, something about like they really value Shane's ideas. This is the second or third idea Shane has proposed. This has been Shane's baby, and it's terrible. Terrible.
This shit just disappeared like it never happened. MIB.
Facts. It's baffling to me. Like you have people in these positions, out of touch, just clueless people that are in these positions that can't come up with good ideas or realize, this is not it. Anyway, but I think we discussed a lot about. It's so funny, we didn't know what we were going to talk about, and I'm sure this is going on for super long. Well, AEW.
Also, sidebar, that whole Hurt Business thing. Yeah, you're right. They better not split them up. I'll be upset if they split them up.
Who?
The Hurt Business.
Yeah, but
they better not split them up.
We can always talk about it on another episode because I think we're going
towards an hour. It's only been like 40 minutes. Anyway.
Okay. AEW. I haven't really been watching. My thing.
You've been missing very good TV. Like you've been missing.
I'm sure.
Some very good episodes. They've been like the ratings are going up because of it. They've been having
not by much. I mean, they're still teetering right on the.
Yeah, they're like 940-ish, but it's climbing. They hit 1 million this past week during Sting segment.
Yeah. Now, what do you think about that?
Sting segment? It was nostalgic to see him show up, especially on TNT. Like that popped me. Like nobody saw that coming. Like there was no dirt sheets, anything like that. And when it happened, Twitter went crazy. People were texting me like, "Yo, you seen this shit?" You know what I'm saying? Like, and you missed that. Granted, was following up. We probably don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
They probably gonna put him in the ring. But for that moment, it was just like, wow, they got Sting to come over. And it was just like, it was a great moment in my opinion. Now, do he really wrestle? We're gonna see. What I didn't like was how the WWE fans, and I know people say I'm an AEW fan. I'm not. I'm like in the middle. I like both. I criticize both. But what makes me upset is when WWE fans like, oh, Sting is old. Y'all wanted Sting versus Undertaker though, like a couple of months ago. Like
I don't know about a couple of months ago, a few years ago, sure.
Nah, there people was like, nah, we still want that Sting and Undertaker before he retired. That was going crazy. Like,
but it's true. First of all, again, we follow two different wrestling Twitter and stuff like that because everyone's always joking about Taker and how long it takes, and then and nobody wants to see another match, right? Hopefully this is it with Taker and Survivor Series.
Right. I see those two. Yeah.
But it's true. This thing is old. It's like
it's facts.
Like you said, it's kind of crazy because damn TNT, and I always felt like with Sting, and I read that he came to AEW because he didn't like his run with WWE, and it's like I get it, but what were you gonna do? Like you're like not extremely old. I don't want to be rude, but you're way past your prime.
Limited.
So what exactly in regards to the run with WWE? What did you think was gonna happen? 1, 2. I never really I never staying in WWE just didn't seem right. It never did. This just seems more like his speed, especially since it's TNT and all of that. So for like nostalgia purposes, so I can pop to that and be like, oh wow, but I
mean, I get his last run. He should have never lost to Triple H. That was stupid. I'm a Triple H guy. Like that was just like, why? He's the icon, right? It's kind of like the Undertaker version in a different world. He comes into Undertaker's world. He didn't even lose to Undertaker. He lost to people that Undertaker defeated. So now, how does he measure up to Undertaker in that aspect?
Right.
That never made sense. Didn't he win? He went after the U.S. title against Seth Rollins.
Something like that. Yeah.
Why would you have him go after the mid card title? If you were gonna put him in a title picture, but you put Goldberg, and he could work better than Goldberg.
Yeah.
At his age, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
So like I get why he probably went like one more round because he didn't really leave a good taste in people's mouths at WWE. Um, again, I'm just scared about how they're gonna do it, and I
Yeah,
eventually just want him to just go into like a mentoring role.
yeah.
But it's
Yeah, I
interesting to
just like
see.
it's cool. It's cool. It's always cool to see like legends, especially legends you don't constantly see, right?
Right.
Had you said with Undertaker, we see Undertaker every, I don't know, 3-4 years, like, or like how we see Stone Cold or even The Rock,
Right.
cool. But when I see Undertaker every year or every couple of months, and I'm like, all right. So with Sting, I'm like, oh, okay, this is,
Different.
oh, this is different. But I'm sure the novelty will wear off,
Wear off.
you know. So that was cool.
Take it went
How we
Take it went on a farewell tour for like 3 years. Legit. Legit. I'm watching. Did you watch the special?
but like the last
The
ride
series
thing.
thing? Yeah, the last ride thing.
Yeah.
Throughout after every episode, you keep thinking to yourself, why did you say yes? Why do you keep saying yes? Like you don't see this was like the end. Like you and Roman was not perfect, but that's perfect. Bye bye.
Ending. Yeah.
Like
I saw a meme like, oh, Sting is back. You know, get a call from Vince. Take about to show up at War Games, like, or
right,
NXT.
right.
But outside of that, how you feel about Kenny taking the title off of Moxley?
About time. And
Right.
and like he's been the person that should have been holding the title for a while. This is
Yeah.
Moxley's first loss this year, and you kind of know why it happened. With Moxley having to do obligations for New Japan,
Yeah.
but I think the biggest story here is how AEW is teaming up with TNA, Impact, whatever you
Yeah.
want to call them.
Yeah.
Like just to see the continuous partnerships between NWA, AEW, and Impact it brings more eyes to those outside products, but then it helps their women division in the middle for AEW because their women division has always been the one where people like, you know, oh, it could be better. Like they need more. So maybe one of those writers from one of those other things. Everybody been saying that, Knockout has the best women division. There's a reason for that. So maybe that person that's controlling the women division there can help out AEW with their women division. So I feel like that partnership in general is the biggest story in this. And it's funny because Wednesday morning I was talking to my boys about Impact because they keep talking about the women's division. I'm like, I might have to watch Impact just to see it, even though I'm not, you know, too
No,
keen on it.
been saying just in general, like I've been wanting to like get back into wrestling and really just see what's going on. There's some names in Impact, and I heard that not too long ago, the Slammiversary pay per view that was really really good. So you know, you can't we can't have a wrestling podcast and not be well versed in other promotions, right? So I've been like, I keep saying that, but again, it's just my thrill for wrestling is not there where I have to tune in and watch all these different products. But I think it's something we may have to just tune in for.
Yeah, and you're right. Like for me, I always had the argument. Like people was like, "Oh yeah, see, I love wrestling. I don't watch Impact." But Impact is like one of those like companies where you constantly give them chances and they let you down. And you're like, all right, how many times I'm gonna give you a chance? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
So
I mean, we give WWE that. We give
yeah, but
WWE
it's
that
different. Like WWE,
constantly.
they not always great, but at least keep your attention a little bit. Impact went through this whole TNA new management. You know how they do the restaurants with the new management kind of did, and it's like, well, the food's still not that great. So it's kind of that relationship. WWE is different. Like this is what we grew up on. Like that's in our DNA in a sense. When you're trying to incorporate a new taste and it's not to your liking, and then just keep putting new management on it, but it's the same taste. Are you really gonna go back to that restaurant?
Yeah,
Like that's what I
yeah.
kind of incorporated it with. And it's funny. And then now with this whole habit with Kenny Omega gonna be on Impact this past Tuesday, I'm like, this is my see. I have to see what happened. Like I have to tune in.
I
This is
have to see
crazy.
this. This is
Like
crazy.
I have to view this. So it's
No,
working.
yeah,
So
that's very interesting. Yeah, no, I agree. Listen, at the end of the day, I know John was the male number one male wrestler this year, so shout out to
hmm
him. I've never been a Moxley Ambrose gal. For
You don't like this new
me,
character?
he doesn't do much for me. He doesn't. And I'm not saying he's not a good talent. This is not
Right.
to like shit on him, but you know how some people doesn't resonate with others.
Right.
He's just not for me. Is so I was happy to see Kenny get the title. Kenny's been coasting since AEW has started. And it's kind of like, this is someone that's been the top male wrestler for years, right?
Right.
So for him to kind of be just in the background and working the tag team circuit type thing, it was just like you kind of low key forgot about Kenny, right?
Right.
So it was
Or
needed
wanted
to clean
more.
or wanted more. You wanted, but I equate Kenny to like AJ. This is
Right.
someone that was the best wrestler in the world, but then you put him in a position where it's like,
Yeah, just chill out. Take your feet
it
off the
just he's
pedal a bit.
coasting. Yeah, now you see AJ about to face Drew for this title. I don't know if he's gonna win, but like the guys that we know that are supposed to be in the spotlight, now we get to see like, okay, so yeah, and then like you said, him going to Impact is gonna be really something to see. So I'm excited for that.
I'm excited for the women's division as well for all three brands, all three not brands, but all three companies to see how they mesh because NWA has already infiltrated into AEW and having some of the feuds over there, and now we're gonna have Impact coming over. Now we probably have like the Triple Crown champion match, like you know what I'm saying, like.
Well, let's see.
Each...
let's see because again,
the
there's so
possibilities
much.
are endless.
The possibilities are endless, and there's potential there. But if you're not executing that, it's all pipe dreams. It's like you're still not showing me how different you're trying to be from WWE. Yes, in regards to meshing with other brands, yes, that's very different. And your writing might be slightly better, but I'm trying to find an analogy for it, but it's just kind of like, when you open up like a bag of chips,
yeah,
and it's like
it looks full, but
it looks full, but you open it like the top is just nothing but air. That's what AEW reminds me of. Like, yeah, you're telling me that we're different, we're whatever, but you pretty much act like WWE, just WWE Junior. Yeah, I don't know if you saw, like someone put AEW on blast, like the working conditions, how Cody is, and this and that and third, and it's like this. It just might be a wrestling culture thing. I don't know, but you just showing me that you're WWE Junior. You didn't see it?
No.
Just to paraphrase, basically, some guy was just saying how, he got this position in AEW. I don't remember.
Oh, no. They found out that was fake. He never worked with Cody directly or AEW. He was like from DDP Yoga situation. Like they already like he was just like venting because he's like, I guess one of those crazy fans.
Mm-hmm.
But he really works for DDP Yoga's production team. Like he doesn't have nothing to do with AEW.
You sure?
Yeah, that joke was crazy. I seen like a glimpse of it. Everybody was just like, nah, he doesn't even work for AEW. He works for DDP Yoga. And probably like Kenny, like probably like Cody showed up like at the studio or something just to talk to, DDP and probably didn't acknowledge the guy, and he just went on this whole tirade. And they were just like.
So then I stand corrected in that sense, but even just outside of that, show me that it's not more of the same, in regards to what I've been watching with WWE, because again, there's certain things that you're doing really, really well, granted, but then there's other things I'm just like,
Yeah.
and then certain people still get pushes, even though we see that their character is their actual character, like the person who they are, is in question. So,
right.
Yeah, but eventually I need to like really like
watch an episode. It's been getting better episode wise.
Like I'm not saying it hasn't. I'm not saying it hasn't. Yeah. Like I said, when I tune in, I'm like, it's cool. NXT right. is trash in my opinion. It's just like wrestling right now is just like,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, anything else you want to discuss? I know in regards to the whole thing with the third party thing, I know we didn't get to talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, with that, I from what I heard is that the reason why WWE cut the third party situation is because they're partnering up with Twitch to do something similar. Because WWE, once they see money in something, they want to take over it. So apparently that's why they told them to get off Twitch, because they're coming up with their own thing where the wrestlers can make money off of it, but also WWE can make money off of it too, kind of situation. So they come up with their own platform for them to do what they want to do in
And what
regards to that.
to charge $1 million? Did you see over the Survivor Series weekend that they partnered with Undertaker for Cameo for 30 slots, $1,000? You know Cameo, that's where the wrestlers
No, yeah.
yeah. That
They charge $1,000 to speak to the Undertaker.
not to
Not even
speak
speed,
to
for him to
him
drop to do a drop.
Exactly. And as it was, a lot of people were criticizing over the summer that some of the prices that these wrestlers were charging was a lot to begin with. So now you're talking about $1,000 that may not even be a minute long.
Yeah. But that's how big corporations are. Like, are we really
Yeah, but
surprised?
it's just like it's not that it's tiring, the greed, like this in general. Like we've seen how toxic these people are in 2020, and it's just like, how do you go to sleep at night knowing that you and listen, hey, people are sheep and they're gonna spend the money, we're gonna spend the money, like, that's fine. I get it, but don't you have like compassion? You know, going into the situation with Thea, aka Zelina, like it's mind-boggling that this has been reported that someone was making more money doing Twitch than the billion-dollar company that you're signed with, and you're an independent contractor. You are not even an employee.
Right.
You're an independent contractor. So as an independent contractor, why can't I have outside businesses? That does not make any sense to me, especially when you're not even paying me that much.
Yeah.
There's no union, I have no health insurance, and you're not paying me that much. Why can't I make money elsewhere? Why? And doing something I like to do. Why do I have to be a one-trick pony? Why do I have to just do that? Why can't, and the crazy thing is, y'all fired her. Paige is still employed.
Well,
And still has her Twitch.
I feel like the reason that's going down is because, in my opinion, this is not come from nowhere. This is my opinion. I think that Paige is trying to get out her contract so she can go elsewhere, and they know that, and they don't want her to go elsewhere, so they're trying to keep her locked in here for the
I don't
45
know.
years of her contract. Because
I don't
apparently
know.
she wants to get back in the ring,
I'm sure
and they're
she
not
wants to
letting
get
her.
back. I'm sure she wants to get back into the ring, and I'm sure in a couple of years we're gonna see, once she's fully healed, and this that it might be that. We'll probably see that. I'm not saying that's not the case. Regardless of the situation, you cannot do, like, that's not ethically, that is not cool. You 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 made an example of someone because they chose to hold on to their streaming platform a little bit longer, but you kept someone who's an active superstar, but you kept someone who cannot wrestle for you currently, still has her Twitch, and you kept her
Right.
because they were all on Twitch. I think yesterday, Ronda Rousey and all these other people. You pick and choose, and that's not cool. That's not fair. That's not cool that you don't pay people enough when they constantly put their body on the lines for you guys. You don't give them health insurance. They're not in a union. It just does not make sense. And then in the climate that we're in, it is 2020. We are in a pandemic.
They don't care.
Most of the time, you know, some people travel, that's on them as long as they stay safe and do what they got to do. But the majority of people have not ventured out and gone anywhere. So, what do you do to pass the time or to interact with people? You do these streaming stuff. So, you're
Right.
telling me, so now we don't even do live shows anymore. So, we're not making money off of going to, you know, live
And they might not
events.
come back.
And they might not even come back. So, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to work maybe one or two tops out of the week, and that's how I make my money. Nah, that's stupid. That's stupid, and it is unethical. It's just
It's mind boggling. Like if you can't,
it's mind boggling. Keep
you
supporting this
can't.
damn company.
It's crazy. Like you're $1 million company. You did a lot of stupid furloughs.
A
You
$1
got rid of
billion
some
company
people. Like you made more money this year than you made any other year, but you're still
during
firing
the
people.
pandemic.
Right, during the pandemic. So it's just like, where's your loyalties lie? Where the loyalties that you want, where does yours lie? Where's the morals lie? Like it's just, and this is why I told you I was kind of conflicted watching this before. It's like just watching this company do these things like to these wrestlers, and it's just like, why am I watching this?
Yeah.
That's our show.
Yes, that's our show. It was nice to
Our
catch
recap.
up. Recap.
Catch up.
I think we're gonna probably have to split this episode because and release maybe like a
No,
part one. Nah,
no,
because I feel
it's not even over an hour. We started around like 11:20. I mean 10:20.
no, we did. No, we did not. We did not. 11:38.
Well, but there's some interruptions. Anyway, we start. That's our show. Thank
That
you
is
for
our
joining us.
show. Like I said,
The
we
recap.
made this was a recap. We may have to split it up a little bit, but thank you for listening and watching. It's been a minute. We'll try to do this more often if Blue isn't so busy.
What you mean?
That's our show. Peace.
Wait, what? Bye.
That's our show. Peace.